top 60.
Okay, that's
so
good.
He's in pretty solid shape at the moment. He's been getting some very strong results. I've noted. I think I detect his performances in the last month or 6 weeks have been very strong, and his results are improving. So Nat's in good shape. He's the number 1 seed in the tournament.
Right.
So that means he's the highest ranked men's singles player here. But there's some very interesting characters. Mark Calio from the Netherlands, number 2 seed. But I suppose the big draw, I'm being fascinated to see the number 3 seed, Alex Lanier from France.
Yes. Ooh la la!
Yes, he seems to be catching the eye of many a seasoned observer of badminton. That this guy, I think he's still young, he's still 19. He seems to be really rising fast in the world of badminton. So yeah, I'm going to predict a Nat versus Alex Lanier final.
Okay, that is really interesting, Mark. I noticed Mark Kalou, Nat beat Mark Kalou there in a recent tournament, which I think is the first time he's beaten him in the last 5 meetings. So Nat's coming into form. He had a really good performance there out in the German Open in Hilo, where he was beaten by the number 1 seed just about, Chao Chen Chen, 19-21, 22-20, 21-18. So
yeah, Chao Chen is a...
it's hard to say that, Mark. It's like chewing gum or something. Sorry.
He's a regular. He has been in the top 10, 15 men's singles players for the last 5 to 10 years. So that was a very hard fought match. Nat only lost 21-18 in the 3rd set to Chao.
Yeah, and I think his ranking is somewhere today around 13 or 12, and he went on to win the Hilo. So with that type of statistic from Nat, that really puts Nat in a good position going in.
It does. It absolutely does. Nat seems to be in good form at the moment.
Okay, that is excellent. Mark, just a final question. I'm just spotting a guy ranked 7. I'm going to try to pronounce this name. I'm going to do it badly. S. Sankar Musami Subramanian. I hope I pronounced that.
Sanka.
Sanka. Okay.
Yes, Sanka.
Okay. So this guy Sanka. Do you want to just tell our listeners? He could be one of these surprise players. He has what's his ranking, Mark?
I think he's 71 at the moment.
Okay. And what age?
He's a young guy. He's 20, maybe 19.
Right. Tournament profiles, is he... what's his recent performance? I think he played Hilo.
Yes, he played the Hilo Open in Germany, Saarbrücken, and lost to Julian Karaji from Belgium, who's another bit of a rising star in the world of badminton at the moment. But yeah, the interesting thing is Sankar from India is a number 7 seed, but in theory, Nat will play him in the quarterfinals. And actually, the head-to-head does not read well for Nat. He's lost the last 2 times to Sankar. So
in this year,
the last 3 or 4 months, yes. So this is a dangerous opponent for Nat.
Right.
But I'm going to go with Nat to go get past him this time. I just feel Nat is running into a bit of form. So. But it's a dangerous opponent. Okay, a dangerous opponent. Okay, Mark, brilliant profile. We'll move on and to the next category here on the Badminton Talk podcast, brought to you by the Q Shuttle, of course. And we want to focus on the ladies' singles as the next one. So, Mark, maybe just similar to what we did with the men's singles, talk about the Irish Rachel Dara, where she currently is in the ranking, and also where she's seated, and what you think her chances are. And I'll just want to just indicate that again, been a Olympic year. There are 22 players in
The ladies singles ranked number 1 is Lauren Lamb from the USA, and ranked number 24 is Rachel Sudjan from Scotland. And then in qualification, there's a whole host again from Danish Josephine Redcar Jensken, who's qualifier number 1, right down to Ireland's Paige Wood at number 9. 49, I beg your pardon. I just checking you were kind of listening, Mark. Yeah, you are. He is fit with that haircut. They've proved it now. So, well done. I'm sure, look, Mark will give you a little bit of round of applause. Okay, there you go. Fully deserved. No more, just a little bit. Don't want to give you a big head, you know. So, Mark, coming back to my question is, where is she in the race to the Olympics? Second question is her seeding. And thirdly is her likely chances of really advancing far in this competition.
Yeah, it's getting very interesting. So a couple of good results for Rachel now would be very powerful. It's incredibly competitive. She's currently ranked number 62 on the race to the Olympics. And that is just probably on the borderline. So right. Rachel really probably needs a couple of good results. So let's get out there on Thursday and Friday this week and support Rachel big time. Because
sorry, Mark, cutting across you there. Would she be a little bit like... Is she...
Yeah, you could say that, John.
Would that be relevant to Rachel? She's knocking on the door of qualification.
She's right on the limit, and yes, some good results would be very powerful at this stage for Rachel. I think she's ranked, she's seeded 6 in this tournament. And now there is she's in the quarter where Lauren Lamb, the number 1 seed from USA, has pulled out.
Oh, right, okay.
So this, in theory, gives an interesting opportunity to Rachel to progress quite deep into the tournament. But
sorry, Mark, just to cut across, is this Lauren Lamb? She is she's from Chinese Taipei?
No, she's actually from USA.
Oh, from USA, beg your pardon.
Number 41 in the world.
Okay.
But she is the number 1 seed when she entered, but I noticed she's withdrawn. So.
Okay, right, sorry, I beg your pardon. So that's a... Wow, okay.
Yeah, so this could be an opportunity for Rachel, but there's some dangerous... Rachel has to play some qualifiers. I think probably the danger ones I would identify from Chinese Taipei, Taiwan. There's a couple of qualifiers that I think will come through, which will test Rachel. These will be hard matches for Rachel. So she really does need to get that support out,
right,
and get us right behind her. Because if she can get through the first 2 rounds, she was due to meet the number 1 seed Lauren Lamb from the USA in the quarterfinals.
Right. Okay, that would be.
So it does open it up a little bit. So a potential run to the semi-final, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be very.
I see the Danish Frederik Lung. She's one of the junior badminton players. She's turned senior now, 20 years of age, and she can be a threat. But I would have thought maybe Rachel might just have enough experience in the tank at her perfect age now, at 25. You know, when I think you often said, Mark, is your best years are around that 24 to 27. I mean, you can get it a little early, you can get it a bit late, but I think
with Rachel, the momentum is starting to run with her. I've noticed her results in the last 6-8 weeks have been strong. She has moved up the ranking. I think back in January she was around about 75. Early January this year she's now up to 62.
Okay.
I've noticed a number of quarterfinals and semi-finals. I think she made semi-finals of Lagos in Nigeria, and there's been a number of quarterfinals recently. So Rachel, a bit like Nat, seems to be running into a bit of form. And with sport, momentum is everything.
Yeah.
Other players notice this, and then your own confidence is rising once you start to build a consistent run of good results. So I'd be optimistic and hopeful for Rachel to progress to the semi-finals of the Irish Open.
Okay,
but it will be tough.
Yeah, but that would be lovely ranking points, would it?
Oh,
that would be yummy. Get all those
yes,
points.
This would just push Rachel on
Brilliant.
very nicely. So let's get out and support her.
Okay, fantastic, Mark. You've just heard it Fantastic, Mark. Okay, so let's kind of move on to the doubles, and we'll get through this quick so we can get through BPL and, of course, the logo, which I know you can't wait to talk about, Mark. Okay, so if you hear this bell, it means your time is up and we need to move on because we have to time manage here on the Badminton Talk podcast, brought to you, of course, by the Q Shuttle, the men's draw, Mark. The top 8 seeds. Do you want to give your well, first of all, share maybe with our listeners who you think might be will it be the 4 semi-finals you're seeing as ranked at the moment? Are there any surprises? And who do you think might be the last 2?
Yes, Joshua McGee and Paul Reynolds is obviously the Irish interest. They're seeded 6. They, to me, are struggling a little bit on the Olympics. They really need some very, very strong results to push them into Olympic qualification. They've got some Bulgarians to start with. I would expect them to come through. The French in the next round look very, very dangerous. Basically, Joshua and Paul really probably need to get to a semi-final into the final of the Irish Open to advance their Olympic qualification.
They need chunky points.
They need good points.
Okay.
Yeah, they're a little bit behind the curve.
Paul had a little niggle there in a tournament about a week ago. He had to be flown back to his physio. So fingers crossed, Paul is in top shape for this. The physio world today is fantastic, but you're right. It's going to be a test there, Mark, of real high importance to come through. So who do you think, Mark? Looking at the draw,
I'm going to predict. I think the Grimleys look good to me at the moment. I think they're going to get to the final. Who else? The Danish pair are looking strong as well. They could be very dangerous. That's Andres Sundergaard and Jesper Toft. I'm going to put my neck out. I'm going to predict a Danish-Scottish final.
Okay, so a Danish-Scottish final predicted by Mark Topping. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see how that how that pans out. Some fantastic games, of course, in qualification on the Wednesday, as Mark said, and the main draw then on the Thursday. Mark, move on to the women's doubles. I know you can't wait to talk about the sisters. Go on, get it out. There's loads of sisters.
They're my favourites.
Okay.
Gabriela Stova and Stefani Stova. They're veterans, really strong. They're lovely to watch. The way they interchange, how they rotate around each other. Their shot choice is superb. Their mobility on the court. They have genuinely been in the top 1 or 2 women's doubles pairs for the last 5 or 6 years, and they are to me they're the big names of this Irish Open.
So you're going to fancy them?
I think I'm going to put them and nail down. Although there will be a tough final I think the Danish number 1 seeds will get to the final, but it'll be a fantastic final.
A tenner and Paddy Parr for the Stover sisters?
Stover sisters. Okay. I might not get a great odds on that.
Okay, right. So you heard that from Mark. And they will play, who do you think, did you say?
The number 1 seeds from Denmark.
Okay.
Fruergaard and Thygesen.
Yeah, and you can't see anyone really stopping them, can you? I know tight matches, but...
Well, there's a Dutch pair that are very strong, Deborah Gilles and Cheryl Seenen.
Oh yeah, they're numbers 3 seeds, that's right.
Yeah, but I'm going Danish, Bulgarian final. With the Bulgarians to win.
God, we got to do another podcast at some stage to see did Mark get his predictions right. I'm sure people would love to name and shame and all that. But Mark, we'll move swiftly on to the XD, which is known as the mixed doubles main draw. And wow, this is really packed with talent here. Looking at the top 8, Mark, what's your prediction? We see the number 1 seeds there on the screen. You might want to profile them. Hee Young K Terry, am I pronouncing that right? And Tan Wei Han Jessica, I'm saying that backwards as it's reading.
I think they're from Chinese Taiwan, Chinese Taipei.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely. They're obviously number one seeds for a reason there. It's all seedings are based on world rankings, so they've obviously got huge world rankings to get to be number one seeds. But look, I think everybody's fans' favourite, the team that won it last year, Gregory Mares and Jenny Mares from England.
They have an